beautifully bowled. Just the suggestion of in-swing, and Ian Botham has become the greatest wicket-taker of all time. He beats Dennis Lilly, and not only jubilation here at the Oval, but I'm sure ripples all around the world as Botham takes his 356th Test wicket, and Jeff Crow is the victim.
Triumphant Ian Botham, and we will now put up a little list for the 33rd time.
The Oval today were quite good at the start, plenty of blue sky, a light breeze blowing, but the forecast for later in the day wasn't all that good, which meant England really had to press on very, very hard. There was some tight, tough and tense cricket in the first half hour. Only 9 runs scored up to the point where we joined the 3rd ball of the 8th over, and it's Ian Botham coming into bowl to Evan Gray. It was well bowled, and it needed a last moment adjustment from Evan Gray. Didn't time it properly, still got 3. But he had to make the hurried adjustment for the ball coming in very late in the air. Graham Dilley is going to come in from the Vauxhall end. They're bowling to Evan Gray.
We can now say that Evan Gray is a better player of the in-swinger in Botham's end than he is to the one that leaves him.
Well, that's the chance that Gatting has to take. He badly needs wickets, and therefore is doing without the 3rd man. Three runs to Evan Gray, and that brings up the 50 partnership. Well, it hit high on the bat and just cleared Alan Lamb at square leg. So that almost worked for Graham Dilley. Just that extra pace from Dilley, of course, and John Wright a fraction slow on the shot.
And Ian Botham's morning spell not successful, and a change against the Gooch's swing. And that was pretty skillful too. Don't know whether he got a bat on it. Yes, he did. Little leg glance there by Evan Gray. He's a really stuffy player, a good competitor.
And Gooch again getting a little bit of movement down towards the leg stump. That's the way it's been going. I think Phil Edmonds felt he was just about to be tipped at the post, so in went the shoulder.
Slightly disappointing first hour for England, not able to make the breakthrough. But I must say I'm very impressed with the way John Wright is playing. Very straight bouncer, but Evan Gray is not going to hook, and I think he was taken by surprise the fact that it didn't really get up terribly high. Whoops, just missed it.
It was the pleasant variation after the shorter balls. Suddenly the Yorker gets through, and Evan Gray, even with the short backlift, found that his off stump was missing.
Yes, very important break, but Gray's done a good job. He's batted 2 hours again for 30. And here's the perfect Yorker. Right into the bottom. Just moving that front foot out of the way and letting it through, he would have been LBW anyhow.
Richard Hadley, properly acclaimed as a magnificent figure in this Test series. There's no man there. Oh, cracking shot, a wonderful stop by David Gower.
Fine piece of cricket this. Richard Hadley times the ball beautifully. Tremendous shot. And great piece of goalkeeping there by David Gower. He enjoyed that. 187 for 5, and we see spin for the first time this morning. Well bowled. This is the first one that Phil Edmonds has thrown up, and John Wright just gets in a little bit of a tangle there. Almost Yorks himself. Spun away past short leg for a single.
Surprised. It's a catch behind the wicket for French. The ball going straight on with Edmonds' arm, but behind the stumps, both Botham and French were extremely confident of that appeal. But with a quizzical look, Richard Hadley retreats, caught French, bowl Edmonds for 6.
And this slightly quicker delivery from Philip Edmonds. Pushed on. In fact, it goes almost through the gate. Richard Hadley seemed rather reluctant to go there, but it was beautifully taken by French.
John Bracewell comes in to bat.
Change in the attack. Graham Dilley coming off, and John Embry taking over at the box on end.
Well, it certainly came off the pad. No question about that. Whether it also touched the bat is another matter. Harry Bryn in recent times has produced consistently good pitches here at the Oval. He's a very busy man too, not just making the pitches, but he's ground controller, looks after all the car parking and things like that. Botham was going slightly the wrong way there.
Yes, this turned just fractionally, and Ian with his hands on his knees again. Definitely getting a hand to that. And down it went.
Embry has some reward. We had John Wright drop. Now he picks up Bracewell, caught by Athey just behind square. The ball spun, and it was good bowling.
John Bracewell caught Athey, bowled Embry, 3. And here you can see that ball just turning enough. Bat pad, and beautifully picked up there. Tony Blaine, the New Zealand keeper, walking to the middle for the first time in a test match. John Bracewell really just letting his bat get a little bit too far forward in front of his pad. Beautifully picked up.
Embry has just finished, and here's Phil Edmonds.
It's the 200 up. Single. John Wright. Taking him on to 92 via Alan Lamb's shin guard, I think.
Well placed. It's also quite well bowled by Phil Edmonds. He gave it a bit of air. Drew the batsman forward. Tony Blaine was good enough to get himself right to the pitch of the ball. Another good shot from Tony Blaine. Runs well between the wickets. Easy 3 for him. One more over bowled up to lunch, but no more runs. 209 for 7. Unbeaten on 93. John Wright, a splendid innings from him. He's doing just the right thing for his skipper and for his team. And 10 not out, young Tony Blaine playing in his first test match. Doing very well indeed. Looks a well-organised young player. Knows exactly what he's about out there, and is not short of confidence either, and has played very straight. 209 for 7 at lunch. The bowling figures for England. There's nothing very disastrous there, but they'd like more wickets. Both them's 3 he picked up yesterday have remained at 3. 2 to Dilly, and 1 each for the spinners, John Embury and Phil Edmonds. Well, here's the first ball after lunch. Ian Botham has the new ball in his hand, second new ball, and he's coming into bowl to John Wright.
So 4 runs off that first delivery with the new ball. And John Wright moves on to 97. Tony Blaine is 10 not out.
Well, that was hardly a ball to duck. That was a normal playback ball, I think. Still, he handled it pretty well, got out of the way.
Not to be underestimated, Mr. Blaine. Very much a batsman wicketkeeper. And one of the first shots you ever learn in school is the off drive.
You won't see a better one than this. Beautifully pure swing of the bat. The leg perhaps might have gone fractionally closer to the line for the copybook, but I don't see a cleaner, straighter swing of the bat.
John Wright on 99. Grave Dilly comes from the Vauxhall end. Oh, good stop. Oh, super fielding, marvellous fielding by England. And really and truly, I suspect, but I'm not certain, that maybe a false call by John Wright to set off that sequence.
Marvellous stop by Graham Gooch. Followed by great presence of mind, a sort of backhand flick, which could have stranded, would have stranded Tony Blaine, and then quick thinking again, could have run out right.
John Wright, nervous 90s, 99, not out. He's going. And he's got there. Well done, John Wright. A little bit of patience required at the end, but patience, in fact, has been the characteristic of this innings. John Wright has been there since the start of play yesterday morning. His 5th Test 100 and his 2nd against England. It's 225 for 7, and John Wright has a century.
Interesting shot. It looks like the broom cupboard. No, it isn't. It's the New Zealand dressing room.
Yes, very well played. Played with the certainty of a man who's played that shot many times before.
Yes, and watch, the bat doesn't come across the line. The bat comes down very straight and is just flicked over at the last minute.
It's now changing the bowling at the pavilion end to take the ball immediately away from Ian Botham. The ball goes back to Gladstone Small, who took the new ball the first time round. Plays them well off leg stump. It's a fruitless exercise to bowl at leg stump when John Wright is out there. Very good timing to it, isn't he?
Yes, his whole stance and the way he holds his bat is all set up for this shot. Look where the bat's coming from. Closed, and then he stays on the line of it and just flicks it away. But I wouldn't say that there's any obvious place to bowl to John Wright. I think he's a very well organised player who can handle most things. Oh, splendid stop by Ian Botham. Quite an adventurous shot. Wright showing us all the strokes now. This was a fine late cut. Clipped down on it. Botham's gone to his right. Would have been 4, but turned it into 2. Just took the way off it.
Just 5 more runs added to take the total up to 246 for 7. Splendid innings there from John Wright, 114 not out. He knew exactly what was needed in this game where England had to win to square the series. He's played very well indeed up to this point. Tony Blaine, very good support, 26 not out from him, 246 for 7. Well, that rain kept going. It absolutely threw it down for a long time, and the players in fact were off the field for 2.5 hours, during which time tea was taken. The ground staff worked very hard. The whale was out picking up excess water. The ground staff were throwing sawdust down, and eventually they got back on at 5 o'clock. Here's the 3rd ball after the restart. Embury is coming into bowl to right, and no runs have been added to the total. Beautifully bowled, a lot of spin there. Got past the outside edge of John Wright's bat. Phil Edmonds is to bowl to Tony Blaine. Blaine is on 26. Well, if Alan Lamb had been quick enough there, he could have hurled himself forward while that ball was jammed between bat and pad. Man at deep square, so that's 4 more to John Wright. That comes to 250.
Since John Wright's got his 100, he's shown that he's got considerable repertoire of strokes. That was the sweep shot.
50 partnership is up for John Wright and Tony Blaine. Took 133 balls, and it's been a very good, staunch effort.
Well, John Wright beaten by this one. Plenty of turn there. Brilliantly taken by French.
Well done. He's distinguished himself in the field on a number of occasions, Gladstone Small, both at Trent Bridge and here at the Oval. Good quick mover.
Tony Blain's been a bit becalmed and he went off for a single. John Wright wouldn't have any, sent him back.
Phil Edmonds, this time he's going to come over the wicket to the left-hander. See if he can pitch in that rough stuff. Wow, he's bowling with a toppy. 251 for 8 now, and John Wright's long innings comes to an end. A very fine performance from the New Zealand left-hander. Says good afternoon to umpire David Shepherd on the way out.
I wonder whether it was the first burst of sunshine that in some way disturbed John Wright's vision of the ball, or the way he played it. Really, the ball just appeared to go straight through. But whatever, the England tactics with the spinners has worked. The runs have been kept down, and they've got this all-important wicket. John Wright after a superb 100 for New Zealand.
This is the way Phil Edmonds accounted for John Wright. Well inside that, a matter of a couple of inches. 251 for 8 as Derek Sterling comes out. Just wide of Gatting, that short cover. Gower the fielder. Beautiful stroke and very well fielded indeed.
Gatting turns to Botham. Can Botham be the magic man he was yesterday? Well, we'll see. Hasn't had the same luck today. Did take the new ball, the second new ball, but was dismissed in that role after just 2 overs. Rather erratic overs as well. Still on the scorecard, he has those 3 wickets, and England desperately need now to drop the last 2 men and bowled New Zealand out. It's well bowled.
So I think Ian Botham was shouting for LBW then to begin with, just missing the leg stump, going down the leg side.
Perfectly good shot. No man down there. England still desperately committed to attacking and keeping fielders up in catching positions, and Derek Sterling rather enjoying that situation.
First class square cut. Very fine shot indeed for a number 10.
Indeed, it was the shot of a batsman rather than a number 10. Sterling finished at 5 not out, and BLAIN on 27. John Wright out for 119, bowled by that splendid delivery from Philippe Edmonds, the one that went straight on. 257 for 8 when they came off for bad light. The bowling figures for England, both of them had 3 yesterday, 3 for 58 he finished with today. And the spinners, Edmonds and Embury, did much of the work. Apart from bowling well for much of the time, they were also on because the light was too bad to have the quicker bowlers operating. Play now with the first ball.